Welcome to the Prairie Street Prime Culinary Kitchen. I'm with our repeat guest chef. They come back actually, David Barazarte. So we're gonna have a steak fest here today with Prairie Street Prime creme de la creme products. This is going to be one big party. We're here in my backyard in Great Neck. We have an open fire. We're gonna teach some direct and indirect things, how to use vegetables, whether you're using a charcoal grill, whether you're using your Weber grill, whatever you're using, some basic cooking concepts.
Okay.
And we're gonna make like 5 different steaks because our crew is hungry. So why don't you tell us what we have and we'll go from there.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for having me again. Today we start building a fire really early. We let it go down for a little bit. So we create some ashes. So we're gonna cook some things on the high fire and low fire. We call it direct and indirect. What we're trying to do is teach you guys absolutely management of the time around the grill.
So we have a real cool setup here, even before we start, of just what the setup is.
So what I did is I put some vegetable. We're gonna use it for size later. I'm gonna add some more that cook it straight in the ashes. It's called rascoldo. It's the action when you cook straight in the embers in the ashes, and it's gonna be a nice char and tender inside.
Right.
The other vegetable is gonna cook in slower in there. They're gonna go the nice smoky grill testing while the time I'm cooking the rest of the steaks.
That's excellent. And we've also preheated these cast iron pans for a while, and people don't realize how much heat is in this bit. We've been burning logs for an hour and a half, so the embers below are...
I've just been sweating for an hour and a half. The heat is pretty hot here. So
we could throw a log on there.
It's one thing that you got to do is now, because we cook it, to use the glasses. When you're working on smokers or on grill for a long times, you put glasses on protection, goggles, something like that, because the smoke can be really bad on you.
For sure. So we thought instead of, in the past, we've done these videos where we show one recipe, but it's barbecue season, so why not display what we have here? So we could start with the signature product, USDA Prime Tomahawk Steak. Less than 5% of all beef is USDA Prime. We have our beautiful lamb chops that everybody goes crazy, and in these cases we don't French the bones because everybody likes to eat that. We have some skirt steak, we have hanger steak, and we have a beautiful veal chop. And they all have different time durations.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna try to do all 3 proteins with bones. We're gonna cook it simultaneously on different directions on the grill. High heat, lower heat, and after that, probably gonna do the other vegetables.
That's great. Also, another interesting trick is that we left the wood on the side, on the top of that, because it kind of preheats the wood. It won't catch it on fire. But I think, David, you were going to throw another log in.
Yeah, in a bit we'll do it.
We'll throw another log in. It will catch fire instantly with the heat that we have.
Okay, let's do this. For the tomahawk, lamb, and veal, I'm just going to do salt and pepper. I don't want to overlayer. I want the steak talking for himself. And we're going to place it on the grill. The heated part of the grill is this side, so the tomahawk, being the thickest part, I'm gonna cook it on direct, give it a nice char, and then just move it to a side, make it indirect.
Oh, that is one serious piece of meat.
Yeah. The veal, I'm gonna do the same, give it nice grill marks, a nice seared, and the lamb, so you see the other side, I'll let it be. I'm gonna leave it there to get nice seared, and in the meantime, I'm gonna be working on the vegetables. I'm doing some vegetables, they take longer.
So we're gonna wait on the hanger and skirt steak because it's a much shorter cook. And we wanna kind of time it towards the end.
Yes, I'm gonna do it towards the end. Once I got to right 1/35 or something like that on the tomahawk, I start to working on those because that's gonna take like 10-15 minutes top.
Now let's take the lamb chops and put them indirect.
Because they're a
smaller piece. And how long do you think you're going to keep these?
I'm going to give you probably a few minutes. I'm just going to give you a nice sear and then move it to indirect.
Okay.
What we're going to do with the lamb now is backwards. We're going to cook it in indirect, and at the end, we're going to give it a nice sear.
That's going to be amazing.
So I'm going to place my acorn squash right into the ashes.
It's very South American, Argentinian style, correct?
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to do the same thing with golden beet and red beet. You're gonna be cooking there slowly while I'm still working in the other scenes. What I'm going to do now, just feed the fire. In a few minutes, we're gonna have a little fire here.
Sure.
There's so I'm gonna start to be moving things around. It's important when you're working with proteins with meat, with bones, don't burn the bone, it's not nice. So what I'm gonna move here, use my cast iron to protect a little bit of the bone.
Very cool.
Looking good, huh?
Yeah, it's all fire management. And
So yes, technically the smaller protein is gonna go faster is the lamb, is smaller protein. What we're gonna do is indirect. The veal, once I flip it, I put it in direct. And this one I'm gonna flip it and leave it on direct still to give it another side and then indirect.
sure. And then after we put the steak to the side, that's probably going to take a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, so you see what the fire do with the wood?
Right,
I leave
right.
the wood a little bit, keep it warm to the side, and now the light's on fire right away. Look at the chart of this.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Direct, you give it a nice chart, and then you put it to a side, cook it slower, nice temperature.
And that's why I like reverse here. Do you know why? Because when people see this, they're going to want to eat this right now. It's not cooked.
Well,
right
I'm
away.
not kind of person that eat 135, sometimes 120, but I mean,
That's
you're
your mood.
right.
You get to drive it. Enjoy it. But it's very tempting to see, and it makes with this grill beautiful hash marks as well. That's just there's nothing about than live fire. I mean,
So look, guys, this one is nice and charred. I don't want to burn it. Just gonna move it to a lower temperature. It's gonna keep cooking there, but it's lower. And I said with this one had a straight fire.
and look at that piece of meat. At the end of the day, if you start with the top quality meat, you add a little salt and pepper and the right heat.
You don't need to put that much. So I did some roasted peppers here. There's some jalapenos. Some onion has been there for quite a while. All right, let's go for a few minutes. I'm gonna flip the lamb chops, and I'm coming back, and I'm gonna start moving around the coals and the ambers to see what's going on with my vegetables down there.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to talk about the wood that we're using today. So today we're using cherry wood pieces. In general, you want to stay with cherry fruit wood, or you find your own flavor, but soft woods like pine will cause a bad odor and bad flavor to the meat. I personally like fruit woods because it's soft and gives you great flavor, but it's not too strong. But everybody to their own taste. So now we're going to check the temps, see how we're doing. Let's start with the lamb chop. So in these lamb, we're at like 130. I'm good to go with this. This veal is at 130. Probably I'd give it like a few more degrees. And the ribeye, we're at like 90, 100. So we got maybe like 5-6 more minutes on that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna pull the lambs to a side, let it rest. And the veal as well. And I'm gonna keep the ribeye, tomahawk. We're gonna sear in
Crazy.
there. And now I'm gonna drop the skirt steak at the hanger because that's a proteins they cook quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
The hanger takes a little longer than the skirt steak, so the skirt steak is gonna be last.
Right.
Hanger is the way they process it is usually on the salty side. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of pepper, olive oil, and to the grill.
Excellent. So people ask sometimes, why is skirt steak, or specifically kosher skirt steak, more salty than other products? And that has to do with the koshering process, that salt and taking out of the water is done as a standalone item versus the whole part of the animal. So therefore, sometimes what people do is they'll take their skirt steak and they'll put it in an aluminum pan and soak it in some cold water to get rid of some of that excess scum. That's unique to skirts and hangers, but it's just a little tip that that's something unique to the kosher world in our.
Yeah, that's what I don't know, my personal taste. I like to mix skirt steaks or hanger with a chimichurri, some oily and flavorful of herb sauce.
A lot of people, just because they look at a skirt steak and they just seem to make sense to cut it along one way, but it's really the wrong way. And we're going to show you later how to cut it properly. Because if you don't cut it properly, then no matter how good the food's made, it's just a little too chewy.
I'm just making a space for my skirt steak. It's a lamb piece.
Wow.
Give it in there.
That's a beautiful outer skirt steak.
I'm gonna do the same thing. So.
And that heat is so high, that's not going to take a long time at all.
Yeah, so once I flip it, I'm gonna let it rest. I'm gonna show you a trick.
Okay. But you know what I like to do is actually put a little sear on the top of that tomahawk there on that. You take that steak, lovely wife,
okay.
A bottle of wine, you're in good shape, right?
So I got my vegetable working for a while. I got some golden beets here on the ashes. It's called rescoldo. On the rescoldo is a little burn, which later on I'm gonna take the skin off and make a nice salad. Look at the skirt steak. What you do, you separate. You just see if you pull it at once, it's probably gonna stick and break. Look at what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring it here.
Yeah.
Close it to me. I'm gonna roll it.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So let it rest to the side.
That's a thicker piece. It's going to need a little more time.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's gonna go well on the way with the friend here. Look.
That looks just stunning. This is going to be one serious steak fest.
Yeah, that's what you asked for. Let's do another check on the tomahawk. The tomahawk, I think it's pretty close. And this guy looks close. What you're gonna do is put it to a side.
I'd say we need a few more minutes on the...
If you know how long, because
Yeah,
I
I think the tomahawk's good to go.
I was thinking take it out and let it rest.
Yeah, take it out. Wow. It's a steak fest if I've ever seen one. Look what we started with and look what we ended up with.
So this is my board. We're gonna put all the meats, and to a side, I'm gonna build you the size. So I'm gonna build a lamb tower here. Wow. To a side. Remember, guys, the lamb, that's the one they cook indirect.
You really can't get a crust like that on like a gas grill. It just can't get hot enough. By having the cast iron pan, if you're using a gas grill, you can definitely raise the temperature and have that even sear.
I like to burn jalapenos, fresnos, serranos, add on it. Once you give it a nice char,
Yeah,
they take the heat to another level.
for
So
sure.
that's my personal taste, and I'm telling you to go for the spicy. I absolutely have sweet peppers as well. I'm gonna put this guy here. And this is gonna be a meat platter with the two sauces I promised you guys, the chimichurri and an herb. Let me see how to fit this here. I think I went a little too big.
Go big or go home.
And that's how they are gonna look like. That's a lot of meat, my friends. You wanna take a look and show the guys?
I'm just more gonna take a look. I think I'm just
Be
gonna
careful, don't put it on top of
I
you.
think you're just gonna eat
Still stay
all
hot?
this, but I'm not sure. I think we have to share it with everybody. But what an amazing job.
While he looks to the meat, I'm gonna pull out my cron squash. Delicate, it's gonna fall apart. Just keep it to a side.
We've had a great time here at Steak Fest here at Prairie Street Prime. You've made some delicious meals. I've been dying to get into this food the whole video, so why don't you show us some of your final work?
So I'm gonna slice some of the meats. Over here, this is curd which I rolled it before to cut it. People cut it wrong. The proper way to cut it is against the grain. You put it this, and then you cut it backwards against the grain.
Right. People tend to cut it this way because it looks like a long piece and that's the natural way to cut it. But if you don't cut it against the grain, it's going to be very chewy because you're eating long muscle fibers.
Let me see if I can play Tetris here. So
Okay.
that's the curd steak. I'm gonna call it a little each. Shall we try it?
Wow,
Reel
look
it.
at that. Look at
Look at
that
this, baby.
sear
So
on
you're
that
going-
shit. Look at that other side of that
I'll
sear
show
on
you.
this.
Yeah, that was the direct one. We go exactly with the bone. Take the bone off. And what we're gonna do is cut it this way.
Amazing.
I'm gonna put it to a side.
That's just beautiful.
We're gonna have some of the lamb. Which technically I like to eat it like a lollipops.
I personally like to eat many times the lamb chop just right off the bone. It's just that
Yeah.
meat is so good, especially when you sear the side of that bone.
That's also that's why I don't like to do a French it all the
Right.
time. I like to just enjoy the little big piece of meat to stick to the bone.
And actually, we at Prairie Street Prime on our lamb racks we French the bone, but the lamb chops we do not because people like to eat the bone. And here you see you have that great structure there, and everybody likes to have that nibble there. So on the lamb chops we don't French the bone at all.
So guys, this close to what temperature you say is that?
I'd say that's
Perfect
one.
medium?
Yeah.
It's a perfect medium, guys. Who's gonna buy for the camera? The hanger is another meat you're gonna cut against the grain. Why? Because if it's not turns chewy, you fight the steak.
This has been a serious steak fest, I think. And then we have the grand finale, the tomahawk. But on this tomahawk, I don't
get
want
like
you
that.
going against the bone completely. Because I think I'm going to throw that bone and make it a little more well done. So can you give it a little edge to
space,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, a little space as you cut that off.
Give you space.
That's personally my thing. I like to make the steak medium rare, but then, yeah, you just put that bone and we're going to throw it on the grill
Have it
for
on
a
the stove.
second. Sorry. Why not? We have
Yeah,
it.
sure. And then we cut that here.
Amazing.
Right, guys, I brought the sauces. I made some chimichurri to accomplish the meat, and I made some herb mayo. What we're gonna do is get a little bit of it each to a side.
I love chimichurri on skirt steaks and hangers.
Now you get to try, so you know you're cranky.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been waiting all
Please
day
try.
to do this.
No, you're
Guess
first.
first. Guess
It's fine,
first.
it's fine. I eat last.
I think I'm going to have to try this first.
Well, I'm scared to. Actually, I want to try the bill with the mayo.
Just perfection.
Good.
It's just
Smoky
perfection.
texture of the grill.
I'm going to try a little of that piece here. That was the lamb.
That's
actually.
lamb.
Yeah.
That's lamb.
I'm just going for everything at this point, but that lamb, great contrast, great flavor.
So the lamb is the one we did indirect. It's still nice and juicy and it has some color. So it's perfect, no over or anything.
Right.
I'm gonna try the skirt.
I'm going to go for the hanger next. Dip a little more of that chimichurri.
It usually goes well with chimichurri, right?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, this is a USDA prime tomahawk steak. That marbling is insane. But I got to tell you something. I make steaks a lot on the smoke or the grill. But that live fire and that cast iron, it really takes it to another level of the crust.
takes it, approach.
It takes it to
Yes.
a completely different level. And everybody could do this at home.
It's different.
It's really not complicated.
It's really different when you're cooking a gas grill or when you're cooking on an open fire. You got different taste approach to the meat.
So this is what I did here is I took our little bone here.
Now you wanna eat it?
No,
Watch
I'm
the
not going to
movie?
do that. I think I'm not ready to do that on camera. Maybe I'll take a little bit.
You gotta burn.
This is heaven for me. This is heaven.
That's the favorite
that's
part.
my favorite part. Even though I cook to medium rare, but I love the bone well done. It's just my thing. It's amazing.
So guys, here's the salad. The salad I promised before.
What is this?
So you remember that corn squash you put inside the ashes?
Sure.
That's the one. I cut it in half, I scoop the seeds up, and I build a salad with the roasted peppers and some micro herbs.
Wow.
We got some crunchy sprouts. That's it, keep it simple. I like to use olive oil and a little bit of balsamic sometimes.
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Over here they have roasted peppers, jalapeno peppers, and half 3 little baby jam lettuce, which the ones I grill, and I have another ones that were not grilled, so it's mixing there. That's all they have.
And that was with some of that lettuce that we put right on the live fire, right?
Yeah, so it's half of them is grilled and the other half is raw.
Amazing.
And on the grill, I still have, you remember the beets I put on the fire?
Yes.
On the ambers? They have the golden beets and the reds. And I also gonna top it with something even better.
Wow.
Grilled watermelon. Be good. What do you think about that?
I think I got to taste that grilled watermelon because I've never tried that in my life.
You wanna try grilled watermelon?
I don't have the fork, but I'm just gonna. This is a barbecue.
Or
We're
just
gonna
get
do
out of the
that.
grill. So when I did on the grill, I put a little bit of salt, a little bit of sumac, and just let it grill and burn.
Wow.
Does it give you the smoky taste, something like that?
That's a unique flavor. I've never really tried that before.
So, guys, this is everything for the grill today.
We had a great time here at the Steak Fest for Prairie Street Prime. Please subscribe, comment, like, tell us
And
what you
remember, every Sunday, 2 o'clock, get online, we have a new video. And maybe next, if you guys keep liking this.
I think we're going to call this guy back. What do you think? I think he's like,
I need to get home sometime, guys.
well, maybe we'll shoot next time in Miami. We'll do it down there.
All right, guys. Really thankful for having me.
Okay.
And now let's do this meal.
Let's do it. Let's have a great time. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. It's Sunday at 2 p.m.
Bye.
Subscribe to our channel now and set your notifications so you don't miss our latest recipes and chef-led tutorials. Then head over to prairiestreetprime.com to shop for your next big meal.